More drama involving CM Punk's return to All Elite Wrestling, his absence from the AEW Collision announcement, plus he's called out wrestling journalist Bryan Alvarez and posted a video to social media discussing how fans who are tribalistic in pro wrestling can, well, you'll have to wait and see what he says. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling, and the drama surrounding Phil Brooks, CM Punk just won't go away, particularly today when it comes to all of the controversy around CM Punk not being involved in the announcement of AEW Collision on TNT, the Saturday Night Pro Wrestling show, the live primetime pro wrestling show that it is expected where he's going to be making his All Elite Wrestling return. But there's a lot of details surrounding him not being announced today. He's also surfaced on social media as well, back on his Instagram stories. Let's get straight into it. So CM Punk is heading back to AEW, or maybe he isn't. Actually, well, we're not totally sure. What we do know is earlier today at the Warner Brothers Discovery Upfront's presentation, it was announced that AEW Collision will make its debut on June 17 on TNT. It will be a live show every Saturday, 2 hours of primetime pro wrestling. While that news was expected by many, others had their hopes held high that CM Punk's return to AEW would be following suit. In the wake of Punk not being included as part of the Collision announcement, a statement was released by Warner Bros. Discovery asserting that the Second City Saints is not affiliated with the AEW show. Despite that very direct statement, it's still being reported that Punk is expected to be part of AEW Collision, and it has been pointed out that his name was included as part of an earlier changed version or edited version of the press release. Now, this kind of gets into the Bryan Alvarez stuff that's coming in on a little bit later in this video. Be sure to check this out. But on today's Wrestling Observer Radio, Bryan Alvarez gave his thoughts on CM Punk not being included as part of the AEW Collision announcement. He said, quote, "I know a lot about this, okay," Alvarez began. He has gotten mad at various things many times. It has been a tightrope walk with CM Punk. There were graphics of CM Punk on the graphic. Now there are graphics without CM Punk on the graphic. So it is not impossible that this deal with CM Punk has fallen through. It is not impossible. He might be announced tonight. That might be the big announcement, but I will put it this way. It is not impossible that we do this show tomorrow and there was no announcement whatsoever of CM Punk. That is not impossible, okay? I can tell you that for a fact is not impossible. Now, of course, Tony Khan is actively promoting tonight's Dynamite on Twitter and is teasing more information in regards to Collision that will be announced later on this evening. So could Khan's announcement that is coming at the time of recording this in about 40 minutes or so actually coincide with a CM Punk return? Now, when it comes to CM Punk not being announced as part of the Collision announcement, PW Insider is also reporting that many in AEW's camp were surprised that Punk was not included in the official announcement, as he is expected to be a big focal point for the show. Some said that they believed the former AEW World Champion would be front and center as part of the big reveal. It seems as many would be under the impression that the Second City Saints return was going to be announced due to what appears to be his inclusion in the early draft of the press release. As I mentioned, this was spoken about earlier on today, that he was originally in this press release, but then he was pulled from the last minute, or it was edited. This is evidenced by an email of the press release that went out to several people saying that CM Punk was going to be part of this lineup for the AEW Collision show. So is this just a case of AEW holding off on it? Is it a case of Punk wanting his return to be more of a surprise, which was put out there previously by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select as well? But I mentioned Bryan Alvarez had spoken about CM Punk there, and well, CM Punk has spoken about Bryan Alvarez as well. As I mentioned, with all of this going on about the CM Punk not being involved in the announcement of AEW Collision, Punk has now taken to his Instagram stories to respond to Bryan Alvarez comments with a pair of images. Now, the first appears to be a note that CM Punk wrote himself and took a screenshot of. We can get it up on the screen right now. It says, quote, "Look, everyone, Bryan Alvarez doesn't like it when misinformed internet trolls make up rumors about him, so please stop making up rumors and stories for clicks while Bryan makes up rumors and stories for clicks, okay?" Punk began. He's married, for God's sake. By God, that man has a family. Bryan Alvarez, shut the F up and stop talking about me, challenge day one. Now, the second image, because this was a multiple-part Instagram story, we can get on the screen right now. CM Punk shared what appears to be an email from Bryan Alvarez to someone else, presumably in Punk's orbit, who passed it along to him. And it says, quote, "Feel stupid for even bothering to write this, but David Bixenspan is in one of his moods, and I have been reading the stupidest shit the last 3 days," the email began. "If you ever talk to Punk about this, and I doubt you will, and I doubt even more that he'd give an F, please let him know that I do not, nor have I ever had a problem with him. It has been 4 years, and Bix still believes that I hold a grudge against CM Punk because he was dating Maria. The best part is that I'm writing this on my anniversary weekend with my wife. I can only imagine the shit that will be written in another 4 years. So yeah, hope things are well for you, and let me know if you need anything. Bryan." Now, it continued. Punk posted another one saying, "Friendly reminder, I haven't been on TV in 9 months and you still can't stop talking about me. Maybe stop. You'll feel better. Love, hate, it's all the same. I don't enjoy being the sole person that props up entire misinformed clickbait industry based on toxic gossip from lying sources. But what can you do? When you're the king, it comes with the crown." Finally, there was Larry there saying Larry has been hired. He is the chief executive in charge of morsels and scraps. He actually has experience and is qualified for this position. So we are all shocked but optimistic at his hiring. Of course, CM Punk ending it there with a bit of a joke. Now, Punk then actually legitimately did follow this up with a video of CM Punk talking about the tribalism that is certainly very prevalent in social media when it comes to Twitter, wrestling social media. And this is what Punk had to say.
One more before I go really quick. The parasocial relationship a lot of fringe wrestling fans have with certain people is really unhealthy. I get the tribalism, like it's fun to root for your team, but picking sides seems a little silly. You don't know me. You don't know anybody else. So, just go touch grass.
So Punk telling everyone to go touch grass because CM Punk hasn't been on social media enough today, certainly. But what did you make of CM Punk's comments? What did you make of his story about Bryan Alvarez? Is he right to fight back? Is he right what he's saying about Bryan Alvarez? Is he right about the tribalism in professional wrestling on social media? As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, when it also comes to CM Punk's return to All Elite Wrestling, CM Punk is the talk of AEW's backstage once again, and this time it involves his friend Ace Steel, of course, a former AEW producer who was fired in the wake of the Brawlout incident in Chicago last year. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, for the past couple of months, AEW and CM Punk have been working towards a return for Punk on the AEW Collision brand. This has extended all the way to WBD, AEW, and TNT having promotional materials made for the show involving Punk, including a Samoa Joe match graphic. Fightful has learned that during the meeting between CM Punk and Chris Jericho, that Jericho mentioned the possibility of Ace Steel returning to the company in some capacity, with the belief that people working together in harmony could alleviate some tensions and show that everyone was willing to do business. Fightful was told that there was a meeting this week between AEW and Punk, and it was extended to Punk that Steel would have the ability to be with the company and work directly with Punk. However, it was made clear that Ace Steel would not be able to be at AEW television. Fightful haven't learned specifically how Punk reacted to this outside of him not being in agreement with it. Fightful have not been told if this is tied to Punk not being featured on the WBD materials or the statement they made about him not being associated with the brand. That was noted to Fightful that there were plans for an AEW camera crew to film materials at CM Punk's home on Wednesday, that being today, but Fightful have not been told if indeed that actually happened. Now, as of right now, Fightful have not been told of a change in plans for CM Punk. PW Insider reported that Impact Wrestling was actually interested in bringing in Ace Steel in recent weeks to be a producer, but he passed on that position, leading to their belief that he was AEW or WWE bound. So once again, we have kind of chaos behind the scenes, certainly in AEW, about Punk being on promotional materials, being front and center for the AEW Collision show, then being pulled from it. But is that related to this Ace Steel stuff? Is that related to what he's talking about on social media? Is it all going to be for nothing and Punk's going to be announced later on this evening on AEW Dynamite? We'll have to wait and see. Either way, of course, we'll let you know whatever happens about this in future videos, probably tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And, of course, I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.